You were taught that love is a warm space, a sanctuary where someone finally understands you, supports you, and gives your life meaning. You were told that the proof of love is comfort, the familiarity of holding hands, the reassurance of shared laughter, the calm promise that someone will stay. But no one warned you that love, at its core, is profoundly disruptive. Because real love doesn't simply shelter you from life, it forces you to confront the parts of yourself you've avoided for years. Jordan Peterson describes existence as a constant tension between two fundamental forces, order and chaos. Order is what is known, routine, structure, the world you've already mastered. Chaos is the unknown, the unpredictable, the emotional, the mysterious territories that can either destroy you or transform you. Every relationship is built on these two elements, and love is only sustainable when they are balanced. Too much order, and a relationship becomes suffocating, mechanical, devoid of passion. Too much chaos, and it collapses under volatility, jealousy, and instability. The challenge is not choosing between order or chaos, but learning to hold both at the same time. Imagine this. Two people stand together beneath a violent sky. Their love brought them there, but love alone is not enough to protect them from the storm around them. The storm is the relationship itself, full of emotion, intensity, vulnerability, conflict, longing. The structure that keeps them safe isn't love, it's responsibility, commitment, boundaries, shared meaning. These things are not glamorous, but without them, the storm tears everything apart. The hard truth Peterson emphasizes is that love must be built, not merely felt. Many people enter relationships assuming that strong feelings guarantee longevity. They assume chemistry means compatibility and that passion will naturally evolve into stability. But passion without direction burns quickly. It's a fire on dry leaves, bright, intoxicating, but gone before dawn. What makes passion last is not intensity, but structure. And structure must be chosen every day, even when it feels heavy. Peterson argues that the masculine psychological role is to voluntarily shoulder responsibility, to face chaos head-on rather than avoid it. This doesn't mean controlling others, it means cultivating the inner strength to bring order where there is confusion. In relationships, this translates to the courage to speak honestly, to set boundaries, to define values and long-term goals, and to participate actively in shaping the shared life. When a man refuses this responsibility, often out of fear of conflict or fear of being perceived as controlling, the relationship drifts. It becomes directionless, reactive instead of intentional, and chaos fills the space that structure abandoned.
This absence of leadership doesn't simply make things inconvenient, it destabilizes the emotional foundation. Without clarity, each partner is left guessing what the other wants. Expectations remain unspoken until they explode. Resentment festers in silence. Conflict becomes unpredictable, and affection gradually erodes. Ironically, many men avoid asserting themselves because they fear upsetting their partner, yet their passivity creates far more chaos than honesty ever would. On the other hand, order without chaos is just as dangerous. A relationship that is too stable becomes rigid. Everything is predictable, scheduled, and safe, but lifeless. There's no opportunity for growth, surprise, or emotional depth. Partners fall into routine, mistaking familiarity for intimacy. They stop learning about each other. They stop growing together. Eventually, the relationship feels more like a contract than a living experience. You are no longer discovering one another, you're merely coexisting. Passion fades not because it was never real, but because the relationship left no room for the unknown. And the unknown, the mysterious, the unpredictable, is essential to desire. Without it, love loses its heat. This is why chaos is not the enemy. In fact, chaos is the birthplace of transformation. It's where individuals face the truth about themselves, encounter their emotions, and confront the unconscious forces that shape their behavior. Conflict, when navigated responsibly, deepens intimacy. Vulnerability fosters trust. The unknown keeps us alive. But when chaos overwhelms structure, when emotion overrides commitment, or when partners stop holding boundaries, the fire spreads without limit. Arguments escalate, trust dissolves, fear replaces intimacy, and everything becomes unstable. Chaos must be contained, not erased. So what does containment look like? It begins with boundaries. Most people think boundaries are walls meant to keep others out, tools of control. But Peterson reframes boundaries as the very framework that enables love to exist. Without them, relationships become emotional free-for-all spaces where neither partner feels safe. Boundaries declare who you are. They define what you value and what you will not tolerate. Without them, the self dissolves into the emotional needs of the other. And when you betray yourself long enough in the name of harmony, you eventually lose both peace and respect. Healthy boundaries create structure, and structure creates the conditions for intimacy. When two people know where they stand, what they expect, what they believe, what they're building together, they can relax. They can engage emotionally without fearing that the relationship will collapse under pressure. Boundaries make the relationship strong enough to hold vulnerability. Responsibility is the internal counterpart of boundaries. It's the willingness to carry the emotional, practical, and moral weight of being in relationship. Many men fear that responsibility makes them less desirable, that being dependable somehow kills attraction. But the opposite is true. Responsibility creates stability, and stability fosters desire. When a man demonstrates competence, emotional, psychological, practical, he becomes someone a partner can trust with their heart and their future. This trust is the soil in which desire takes root and deepens over time. A man who avoids responsibility often does so to maintain comfort. He doesn't want to risk confrontation or vulnerability, but comfort is not the purpose of love. Growth is, and growth is always uncomfortable. When he chooses comfort over growth, he leaves his partner alone to manage the chaos of life. This forces her into the role of leadership, not because she wants it, but because someone must prevent collapse. As she steps into order, attraction often diminishes. Not because she is cruel, but because her unconscious no longer experiences him as a source of strength. Respect erodes, resentment grows, and desire withers. Peterson's central message is that meaning emerges when we voluntarily carry the heaviest load we can bear. In love, this means taking responsibility not only for our actions, but for our potential. It means being honest about our weaknesses and committing to growth, not just for ourselves, but for the relationship. When two people approach each other with this seriousness, love becomes a shared pursuit of truth. They navigate chaos together, building a structure strong enough to weather even the darkest storms.
A relationship begins to fracture long before the breakup ever arrives. It fractures quietly, one avoided conversation at a time, one truth swallowed to preserve peace, one moment of resentment left unspoken. Love rarely dies in explosions. It dissolves in silence. Peterson suggests that the chaos we refuse to confront inevitably returns stronger. When we don't speak, when we don't articulate our reality, we feed the very forces that later destroy intimacy. Many men learn, consciously or unconsciously, that keeping quiet is safer than telling the truth, that harmony is better than honesty. Yet there's another truth beneath that illusion. Harmony built on silence isn't peace, it's paralysis. The first responsibility of love, then, is to speak, not to dominate, not to demand, but to reveal. There's a reason Peterson speaks so often about the power of the word, the logos, as the principle that orders chaos. When you speak honestly, you draw a line in the sand. You say, "This is who I am. This is what I see. This is what matters." Without that boundary of identity, the relationship becomes a drifting vessel with no captain. A couple may share affection, familiarity, even routine, yet feel unmoored because neither has dared to define the terms of their shared existence. To love someone is not merely to feel for them, it is to share a vision. Without a structure of meaning, the emotional texture of a relationship becomes vague. You cannot build a future out of feelings alone. Truth, though, is expensive. It demands vulnerability, courage, and the willingness to disappoint others. Many men fear that if they reveal what they truly need, believe, or desire, their partner will turn away. So they remain small, agreeable, amorphous, shaping themselves around someone else's expectations. But that habit carries a terrible cost. When you hide your truth, you make your partner fall in love with an illusion. They attach themselves not to you, but to the mask you present. Over time, the mask becomes suffocating and resentment grows, not because your partner harmed you, but because you abandoned yourself. Resentment is the inevitable companion of self-betrayal. Peterson argues that maturity requires confrontation, not conflict for its own sake, but the willingness to engage with reality, even when uncomfortable. A relationship that cannot tolerate truth becomes a performance rather than a union, and performance is exhausting. Many couples collapse not because of a lack of love, but because truth never rooted itself deeply enough to sustain growth. They remain polite strangers, navigating shared space but not shared meaning. You cannot build a home with someone if you both refuse to acknowledge where the foundation is cracked. The real work of intimacy begins within. If you cannot face the chaos inside yourself, your fears, your insecurities, your resentments, you will demand that your partner rescue you from them. That pressure is unbearable. No one can be both lover and redeemer. When Peterson describes the dragon guarding the gold, he is pointing toward this internal transformation. What you most need in life lies behind what you most fear. If you fear abandonment, the gold is vulnerability. If you fear rejection, the gold is truth. If you fear failure, the gold is responsibility. Love forces us to stand before these dragons, not to slay them, but to integrate them, to become someone capable of bearing the weight of another's trust.
Responsibility is not about control, it is about presence. Real presence is not passive silence or emotional withdrawal. Presence means standing firmly in yourself while remaining open to another. It means listening without disappearing. It means being strong enough to hold tension without collapsing. Peterson often points out that a harmless man is not a good man. A harmless man is weak, uncertain, unable to defend what matters. A good man is dangerous, capable of strength, capable of confrontation, yet choosing to direct that power toward protection and truth. In relationships, this means you do not submit to every demand, nor do you impose your will. You negotiate, centered, grounded, clear. Boundaries are often misunderstood as barriers, but healthy boundaries are doorways. They define where you end and where the other begins. When a man lacks boundaries, the relationship becomes flooded with ambiguity. Every conversation feels tense because nothing is stable. His partner never knows how far is too far, how much is acceptable, what he truly needs. That uncertainty breeds anxiety.
Ironically, trying to be endlessly adaptable makes the relationship fragile. A man becomes reliable not when he is always agreeable, but when he stands for something. Boundaries are declarations of identity. This is what I believe. This is what I value. This is what I am willing and unwilling to tolerate. When stated clearly and calmly, boundaries don't push others away, they invite trust. The relationship that grows is the one that faces difficulty together. Without difficulty, partners never see each other's depth. They remain in the realm of pleasantness, which is sweet, but insufficient. Order emerges through negotiation. Here is who I am. Who are you? What are we building? You don't build a shared life by accident. You build it by choosing each other, repeatedly, through conversation, sacrifice, honesty. Peterson reminds us that sacrifice is foundational. To pursue anything meaningful, including love, you must give up something. Maybe it's comfort. Maybe it's pride. Maybe it's the illusion of self-sufficiency. Every commitment requires the death of alternative paths. Without sacrifice, there is no direction. Without direction, there is only chaos. The tragedy of many relationships is not betrayal by another, but the slow betrayal of oneself. You neglect your dreams. You silence your voice. You deny your needs. All in the name of preserving love. But preserved love is not living love. It is taxidermy. Love must breathe. It must expand, transform, stretch. It must challenge you to become more. If a relationship makes you smaller, it is not love. It is fear wearing affection as a disguise. Order in love does not mean rigidity. Structure does not mean domination. A healthy relationship is not a prison of rules, but a dance of agreements. Partners define a shared vision, where they're going, how they'll grow, what they will protect. That shared vision gives them the strength to face the world, not as isolated individuals, but as a unified pair. When conflict arises, as it inevitably will, shared order turns confrontation into collaboration. Instead of fighting each other, they fight the problem. The enemy is not your partner. The enemy is misunderstanding, silence, avoidance. When partners share a mission, even disagreement becomes productive. Growth becomes mutual. Eventually, every couple discovers that love is not a feeling, it is a practice. Feelings come and go. Passion burns and cools. But the commitment to face chaos together, that is what sustains. Peterson would say that meaning is found not in comfort, but in responsibility. And the greatest responsibility you can take is the responsibility to care for another human being without losing yourself in the process. To stand with them, not behind them. To speak truth to them, not to appease them. To walk beside them, not to carry them, nor to be carried. The question is never simply, do you love me? The real question is, can we build something together? Can we negotiate reality without collapsing? Can we face chaos hand in hand? If you can answer yes, not just in feeling, but in action, then you have found a love rooted not in fantasy, but in truth. And truth is the only foundation strong enough to hold the weight of two human souls. If this resonates with you, consider staying close. There's more to explore, more to question, more to build. Because the journey of love is not the avoidance of chaos, but the transformation of it into something meaningful, something ordered, something shared.